This film explains and demonstrates how to set up a workflow. First, let's have a look at the structure of a workflow setup. There are three levels in a workflow setup: the workflow card, the to-do group card, and the to-do card. The to-do is the lowest level and is where the detail of each to-do or task in the workflow is stored, such as the employee or teams of employees that are responsible for the to-do, the timing of the to-do, when it should begin, when it should be completed by, and when it has become urgent, and the criteria of the to-do, which details what needs to be done. The to-do may be a manual or an automatic type, meaning that the system will do the checking for you. Examples of the automatic type are field examination to-do, which automatically checks if certain fields are completed in a certain way. Date monitoring, for the automatic monitoring and tracking of date fields. Document flow, for the tracking and management of documents. A to-do group is simply a group of to-dos or other to-do groups. The to-do group allows you to structure each workflow with different levels and sub-levels as required. The workflow card is where you specify when the workflow will be run by defining the reference table and the conditions, and where you specify what will be run by linking the to-dos or other to-do groups or any combination of the two. Tim would like to set up a new workflow to run when a new customer is created, to check the fields on the customer card have been completed accurately, and to manage the allocation of payment terms. Tim opens the template folder and opens the to-do template. The first to-do is to check the fields, so Tim completes the details of the to-do by firstly selecting the customer table as the reference and then entering the code and the description of the to-do. He defines that the administration team should be responsible. For the time frame, as this is the first to do, it should begin when the workflow starts. It should be completed within 5 days, and within the last day it will be urgent. On the criteria, he specifies that this is a field examination to do, and then defines the conditions. The conditions state that the address should not be left blank, the phone number must not be blank, and that the credit limit must be less than 10,000, as this is the rule for all new customers. The setup of the first to-do is now complete. Timothy then continues to create and define the rest of the to-dos. Timothy has now completed the setup of all the to-dos. He has 3 to-dos. 1. To examine the fields on the customer card to ensure they are complete and accurate. 2. To check the credit history of the customer. And 3. To enter the payment terms. Timothy now creates a to-do group which he will define payment terms and will group the last 2 to-dos he created together into one group. Now that Timothy has created all the necessary to-dos and to-do groups, he can create the workflow. Timothy creates the workflow and defines the code and the description, and then the to-dos and to-do groups. If he wanted the workflow to be run for only a certain group of customers based on some criteria or conditions, then he would complete the conditions card. However, Tim would like this to be run for all customers, so he leaves the conditions blank. Tim now has completed the setup of this workflow for new customers. He can view an overview of that workflow in the expanded view window. With agilesWorkflow, it's easy and quick to set up new workflows.